G'day, ladies and gents. It's Lenny from Frostbite's G.I. Joe Repro back again. So for this video, I just wanted to have a quick chat about a simple thing, which is how to pack figures. And, you know, as a byproduct of that, how to use the Auspost system here in Australia to your benefit. Because you know, there's using the Auspost system, and then there's actually utilizing it properly, so that you're not paying a fortune. You're getting the job done. So yeah, let's just start off. I didn't go and look for it, but there's there's a bit of conjecture lately in the community on how to pack stuff correctly. I'm going to show you just how I pack stuff. I have sold a lot of figures, comics, toys, whatever. And I always try my best to pack them as best as possible, because that is like someone has, you know, bought the thing you're selling and they've probably paid decent money for it, and they really want that and they want it to arrive safe. So, you know, it's about doing a good job as a seller and having those people coming back to you because you are getting that toy safely to them. All right, so we got old mate Monkey Wrench here. He's going to be the test case. So got his weapon, and we're just going to show you simply how to pack this up. So firstly, bubble wrap. Just putting a figure into a Ziploc bag and putting the Ziploc bag into a box with some cardboard, that is crap. Don't ever do that. I've received a couple of those from people on eBay and from the toy community, and I've had sort of enough of it now, and I'm going to start calling that behavior out because it's just unacceptable. All right, so for one 3.75 figure, this is how we do it, right? We get a piece of bubble wrap, and we're going to have enough bubble wrap, not so it's right at his head and feet, like that's not good enough. You want it maybe 3 centimeters or so on either side. I source all my bubble wrap either from Bunnings if I absolutely have none, or actually like just getting packaging that I have gotten. You know, like when I got my computer chair, I saved nearly all of the packaging. Just anything that comes with packaging, I save it, and I love to recycle it when I sell toys off. All right, so monkey wrench in middle. Get our sticky tape. I usually get one piece ready, and I just roll it. Now, I've used, what is that, like around 40 cent. That's a 40 centimeter strip, okay? Don't just wrap it once and that's good enough. It's not good enough. So then get your sticky tape and stick him up. From there, I also sticky tape the ends to keep them shut. Because the last thing you want to do is take all these steps and then through transit, you haven't packed it tight enough and the figure just comes out the end. So that is sealed on all ends, and that, like, you know, this thing's going to be in a cardboard box, so it's not going to take a lot of a beating, but, you know, that is well protected. Now, the second part, the weapon. It's up to you if you want to put this into like a little Ziploc bag first, or you just want to put it in the bubble wrap. But either way, like just putting it in the bubble wrap is fine. We don't have to get overly pedantic with this, okay? There may be some people watching this right now going, oh, I'm going to put that away. No, it's good, bro. It's good. Just put it into the bubble wrap and carefully roll it up. I've only used half the amount with this because it's not a big thing, right? So then just do the ends. If he had like another weapon or something, I would also maybe roll it, just the two of them up together. And depending on, what the piece looks like, you can even wrap one, roll it a few times, and then put another one in there. It's not going to hurt the weapons. If you're sitting here thinking, oh, Lenny's talking crap, it will hurt the weapons, bro, you're wrong. It's not going to hurt the weapons. It'll be fine. That is how we pack a figure and its weapon. The next step is getting your box that you're going to put it in. And as you can see, this is the box from my microphone suspension. I have recycled this box. So one thing quickly for boxes. If you are buying your boxes en masse from the post office or Auspost, I am telling you, you are wasting money. You are wasting your money if you are not charging the customer for a box. And if you are charging the customer for a box, you are wasting their money. You are doing the wrong thing. Go to Bunnings. They have a massive bay out the front full of free boxes. You can take as many boxes as you want, and they're not going to care. They're in fact, the next day going to have it full up with boxes again. So go in there and just find however many boxes you need. I have run numerous auctions, online auctions, and sent out numerous orders the next day. And I have only used boxes that I have gotten from Bunnings. If I run out of boxes, I actually drive straight to Bunnings, noting that, the post office is 9 to 5. Bunnings is 6 until, I think, 6 or 8 in the evening. Go there, get your free boxes. The best thing about going to Bunnings for your boxes is if for some freakish reason that those boxes are all gone, they sell boxes. They sell bubble wrap. They sell all the packaging supplies that you are going to need. So, yeah, go and get your free boxes. If there's no free boxes, just go down the back and buy some boxes. I mean, you're going to have to get boxes somewhere, but I would sure as hell not get them from Auspost. The only time that you get them from Auspost is when you really need to work the system. So what I mean by that is Auspost works with weights. So work with me here. I'm going to try and remember how this all works. I'm not reading this off the screen. So as a seller, I think the rates, it's something like $10.70 or something at the moment. But, you could be watching this in 2 months' time and that rate could have gone up again. It was, I think 6 months ago, it was something like $9.30, and it just keeps going up. So there's two ways to do this, right? If you got your Bunnings boxes, then your postage that you should be charging someone should be, let's say, $11. Okay, now, if you're charging, it's all cents, right? So if the postage rate is $10.30 and you want to charge your people $10.30, that's fine. I charge at the $10.30 rate to actually post it. I charge $11, and that's because I have to buy bubble wrap. I buy, I don't always have bubble wrap available. So I just account, 50 cents, 70 cents, whatever, for needing to have bubble wrap. And I like just having a standard rate. When I say a standard rate, don't have some like crap rate of $15, because that doesn't help anyone. Like that's sort of getting, in some ways, it's getting a bit lazy. But yeah, that current rate, the 1030 rate, that accounts up to 500 grams. And generally, it doesn't matter how big the box is. So don't be afraid. Like if you, and the other thing for that box, 500 grams, but it can't be bigger than 2 centimeters. Oh, sorry, it's bigger than 2 centimeters. So if you've got, say, what do we got? If you wanted to send this Stanley knife, right? It's once you bubble wrap it and make it all safe, it's bigger than 2 centimeters, but it weighs less than 500 grams. That's your limits for your postage, right? So generally, I know if I'm going to send a figure or say 4 or 5 figures or something, it's going to be less than that 500 grams. The best thing you can do is have one of these by your packaging station. It's just a little kitchen weight. So you can literally put it on the table, pack all your stuff up, and if you're not sure, like if it's this, I know it's less than 500 grams. So I can quote my buyer $11. But if I have, say, 6 or 7 of these figures and I'm not sure, I will put them all into a box that I'm probably going to use to send them off with, and then I'll put it on the scale. And then if it's less than 500 grams, I quote them $11. The 500 grams rule is good because anything bigger than 500 grams is where stuff starts, getting a little bit out of control. So whilst the size of the box under 500 grams doesn't really matter, and like I've sent off small weapons, like pieces of my art, I've sent them off in big boxes, and it just doesn't matter. I can have a box like this big, and it's still going to be the same rate as something bigger. So in the end, when you're not paying for boxes because you're getting them from Bunnings, nobody cares, bro. Just package it up, put it into whatever box, and get it out. As long as it and the box are under 500 grams. You've got to be careful when you're picking up boxes because some boxes weigh a lot. So you want to find that, and you start getting weird about it. You start getting like super excited to find perfect boxes. I had that once when I had to send someone a Moray, a G.I. Joe Moray. Finding the perfect boxes is great. But yeah, just find that balance of, the nice packaging with your cost. All right. So anything up from 500 grams and you're starting to head into Wild West territory. So that's where the size of the box starts coming into consideration. So if it's more than 500 grams and once you start hitting into that kilo or 2 kilo, you really want like the smallest box possible. Don't get if you're sending something that's a kilo, 1.5 kilos, don't get some monster box because they're going to charge you for the size and the weight together, and that's going to form your postage. So anything over that 500 grams, get the smallest box possible that is going to still keep the stuff inside really safe. I really can't emphasize it enough. If you have something more than 500 grams and you have a big box and what you're sending only fills half of the box, go to Bunno's, get a new box, or cut that box down and make it half the size, because literally it's not going to be good for you. And either you or the customer will be paying too much because you haven't done the right thing. So where this can change is if you're using Auspost boxes, they're really good for their weight limits. So something that is small and weighty, and you decide to put it into a Bunno's box, and the box is big, they're going to charge you the weight and the size. But with the Auspost boxes, a lot of those boxes, like you might pay $3 for the box, but you can put up to 5 kilos in some of those boxes, as long as you can fit it in. So really, that's where you need to learn the Auspost system. It's a really handy system. There's been several times where I've gone into my local Auspost place, and they've tried charging me for this certain thing, and I've turned around and said, yeah, actually, within your rules, this is a parcel at this weight limit, and it should be sent as this. And they've turned around and said, oh, yeah, right, sorry, I didn't realize. So yeah, just be aware that they may not know their own rules, and you need to know exactly how to send stuff off. Okay, so just say we're sending. Let me put this camera back down. So we're sending these two guys. I've got this box. This is the only box I've got in the office. So, we're going to do it. All right. These are this is bubble wrap that actually come with this microphone arm. So, like that's a sleeve. So you can put them into the sleeve like that. You can then wrap it up. I suggest putting some more bubble wrap on the bottom. Put him in there. And just get some more bubble wrap and put it onto the sides. There we go. Like that. And then put some more bubble wrap on the top. So, this is a large box for what I'm sending, but you get the idea that that item should not be bouncing around the box. It should be, as snug as possible. And how you know that is when you shut that up, like that. You can't hear it. Can't hear any moving. It's good. That's not going to move in transit. There's no, the only way that could get damaged is some post goes right through that. That is the only way that could get damaged. Now, say we've got to send this, right? So how do we send something like this? The answer is with a crap ton of bubble wrap. So what we would do is we put our bubble wrap down. We put our item there like that. And then we get some bubble wrap. This is like the bubble wrap appreciation video. And we put it in there. See how there's the spot? So if I didn't put that there, then this has the opportunity to fold that in. So we want to put as much in there as possible. So we get our little piece of sticky tape, and we put our Frostbite's G.I. Joe Repro card in there because customers love that. And we make that tight. So see that still, it's not really covering that. So let's look at that a little bit better. Okay, that looks heaps better. Sticky tape. See how that, it's all flat. You see it in there? See that bubble wrap is holding that piece up? For me next, you know, it becomes a bit of whatever. Like you can wrap it up like a present. I like having little flat bits out because, you know, that to me adds a little bit. You can sticky tape them down, that's fine. The point is give it some buffer. Okay, now if this was a modern piece and, you know, it only cost $30 or something, you know, it'd be quite easy to just not really care. But like either way, like I said earlier, you're sending people pieces that they are paid for from you, and your responsibility is to get it to them safe. So what's the answer? More bubble wrap. And then instead of going this way, go this way. Sticky tape him up. Package him up again. Okay, that is packaged. That is what I consider packaged. Then when you put that into the box, so you can see I'm a mad reuser. I'm using all my Prime boxes. I have been, you know, known to sometimes just buy some stuff from Prime to get the perfect box delivered. Okay, so putting this into here, it's okay that it's a tight fit, all right? Just do yourself a favor and put bubble wrap in there on the bottom. You know, you can use a nice big bit. And then at the top, see how there's like spaces on the ends? Fill that with bubble wrap or, you know, leftover packaging that you have. Just fill it up. Don't use cardboard. If you're using cardboard as a filler, once again, you're doing it wrong. Cardboard will end up making it way more, and the result of that is you pay more. Bubble wrap, those airbags, or peanuts, like the packing peanuts, they're your best options. Don't use cardboard. In the end, sometimes as well, just hitting it a couple more times with some bubble wrap, it's gonna be great. Yeah, I think that's it. There's sort of a thing as well. So Auspost sells these envelopes. And let me tell you, I use these all the time. If you look at my eBay shop, like you'll see that I only charge like $6 postage on some items. And that's because I'm using these envelopes. They were $5. They've gone up recently. I think they're $5.40 or $5.60 or something. But the reason I use them and I love them is because they can hold a max weight. Here's all the conditions up the top here, right? So they can hold a max weight of, can I get that? 500 grams, 20 mil thickness. So that becomes very important. So when I use these, it'll be to send off something that's thin, and the 20 mil includes some cardboard or some bubble wrap. I generally use both. And when you add all that together, it's just a smidge less than 2 centimeter, or 20 mil. That's why I use these envelopes, because it's cheaper. You're gonna, it's nearly half price if you just need to send thin things, which, a lot of my parts that I make, they can be thin and they can be packaged slightly. So keep an eye out for those envelopes. There is a bigger one as well that is great for comics, because it's like this one's a flimsy, papery type thing, but the next step up, it's a hard cardboard. So as long as you put a backing board in there, they're perfect for comics. They're a really cheap, great way to get comics to people. If you don't have one already, go to your local post office and ask for one of these. They have heaps of them there. At least my local post office was happy to give me one. They just gave me one of their old ones. And why do I have this? Because it tells you like all the sizes that everything needs to be. And it actually, if you can't put your letter through there, they're going to charge you upwards. Like this is the safety check before going to the post office. And a lot of the time, if they're not sure, they're not going to measure it with a ruler. They're going to pick up one of these and they're going to get your parcel and they're going to drop it through. And if it lodges like that, it's going up in price. But if it slips through, you're good. So I've had numerous times where I've been really close and I tested at home, and like a couple of them at the start, it didn't go through. Like I could push it through, but it didn't fall through. And I thought, it'll be fine. And I took it to the post office and they were like, no, it doesn't fit through. And I've said to them, well, I can put it through. And they say, no, if it doesn't go through by itself, it doesn't count. So it's great having one of those in your house, just to be able to see yourself what you're going to get priced at. So another thing as a seller or someone that posts a lot of parcels is start a business account. You don't have to have an ABN. You don't have to be a business. Just start a business account with them. And what happens then is they then have these scales of postage costs. So it's all monthly. So if you send, I don't know the exact number, but it's like 10 parcels. As soon as you send 10 parcels or something, you go to the next tier, which means you are then getting charged less per parcel for postage. Why is this great? Because, and they'll tell you, you're only saving, you might save $1 or something per parcel in postage. But when you're sending 10 or 20 or 30 or 40 parcels out, that's money that you can like use to buy more supplies, or you can pass that discount on to your buyers. And that just keeps them going up for that month period. So if you're just smashing parcels out, like you'll be doing great with postage costs. And that's why you'll see sometimes, and I've noticed a couple of times, like the some of the online, like the facey sellers in the toy community in Australia, they'll show you the receipt when they've sent your stuff off for the tracking number, and you might see at the top of their receipt, it's like a tier 4 or whatever. Like that's their business account, and you can see like what they're getting charged for postage. So yeah, there's definitely a game with Auspost, and just learning the rules, taking the time to learn about the different ways of sending stuff is going to save you as the buyer or you as the sender money. And the buyer can save money just depending on how you want to do stuff. There's also sellers out there that they may not want to go to the extra effort to save you some postage cost. Like I have dealt with one seller from Sydney where I bought something completely flat off him. Like it was a G.I. Joe, wasn't this one? It was a G.I. Joe file card, right? It's that big. And he said, yeah, that'll be, he was going to charge me $11 to send that. And I said, actually, if you go and get like the envelope from the post office, it's $6, so I can just pay $6. Like that's still $5 I'm saving just on postage. And he turned around and said, I don't have time to to go and muck around with postage things. So do you want this item or not? And I ended up getting the item off him, and I haven't bought from him since. And that was 2 years ago. Because I've just thought, mate, if you can't take the time for your customers, then you really shouldn't be selling stuff. But that's just my view. May not be yours. A lot of people can look at it and say, well, it's stingy, mate. What are you worrying about $5 for? But $5 is half a figure, or like it's a accessory, or it's $5. So yeah, if you're taking the time to be a seller in the Australian toy community, take the time to learn the art of Auspost, and yeah, it's going to help you and your customers. The takeaway point definitely from this video is use bubble wrap, bro. Just use bubble wrap. Don't put stuff into a box, just sitting in a box, and then just put a thin layer of bubble wrap in between each toy, because that is really going to piss some people off. If you're not sure of how to do it, if you're watching this video now and you're thinking, man, this guy's really excessive about boxes and bubble wrap, it's because when you get toys that are 40 years old, you want them to be cared for, because you've just probably spent 100, 200, 300, whatever on that toy. And the seller needs to take care of you with that. So one thing that's often not thought about is insurance. So just say you've sold $700 worth of goods to someone, and you wrap it all up and you charge them, $25 for postage or whatever. That's cool. But that the Auspost parcels, they only cover up to $100 in insurance. So if that parcel goes missing or it gets munged up during the transit, you're only covered for $100 for that stuff. So I found like a very common thing is it's never really discussed between the buyers and the sellers in the Australian community that I've seen. I generally don't have a lot of sellers saying to me, "Oh, mate, I noticed you've spent over $100. Would you like insurance?" Because this isn't eBay. Like on eBay, if you sell something to someone and that parcel goes missing or it gets damaged, the seller is liable and eBay will hold you to account for that because you have not delivered what that person purchased in the condition that they understood you were going to sell it to them in. So eBay will, they will get you to refund or sort out something. In the in the toy community through Facebook and stuff like that, there's a lot of great sellers, like guys that are solid. But do you really want to be having a discussion with someone at some point that, if they want to, they can turn around and say, "Oh, stiff shit, mate. That's Auspost problem. You need to sort." Well, no, the seller really needs to sort that because it hasn't hit the person or it hasn't hit the person in the condition they bought. So insurance at Auspost really costs bugger all. So when you go to send something, they're going to ask you what is the total insurance value of the item in the box. They're not interested in, they know that it's covered up to $100. So don't stand there and try and do tricky dicky maths of, well, it's worth 180, but I'm already covered for 100. So I'll just get 80, because they're going to turn around and say, so you are covered up to $100. So you need to tell them the total. So it's $180. And I think $180 costs you something like $4 insurance. So I know, once again, you're probably sitting there thinking, mate, it's 180, whatever. But when you're buying $700 worth of stuff or $1,000 worth of stuff from a toy seller or, someone selling anything, and you don't get it in the condition you like, or it doesn't turn up to your house, and I've had both of those things happen to me. Luckily enough, they were both through eBay, and it got sorted relatively quickly with little pain to me. But yeah, just be aware. So if you're spending a decent amount of money, anything over $100, and you would like the seller to add insurance, or as a seller, you should be offering to your buyers, mate, did you want insurance with that? Because it's going to save some really nasty conversations afterwards if something does happen to it. All right. Well, been crapping on for 40 minutes now. If there's any questions, feel free to put them into the comments section. If you're not a subscriber already, please subscribe to my channel. I do talk about a whole bunch of different toys, not just G.I. Joe. If there's content you would like covered, feel free to private message me, or put it into the comments section and I'll read it there. If you feel I have misconstrued some postage information during this, feel free to put it in the comments section. I'm happy to keep learning. But otherwise, yeah, sellers, please do your best for your customers, because they're the people keeping you afloat with, doing what you're doing, which is selling great toys. All right. From Frostbite's GeoJoe Repro, have a great day and see you in the next video. Bye.